Hello, everyone. This is Varsha, and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So, once again, we are here with you all to discuss the success story of one more achiever of ours, and this time we have with us Mr. Anand Mahurkar. So, Mr. Anand is an artificial intelligence and data technology innovator and a seasoned professional who believes in accelerating transformation in traditional enterprises through the power of data, helping them become the data superpowers. Originally from a small town in the interior Maharashtra, Anand is a first generation entrepreneur and immigrant to the USA. A degree in mechanical engineering, a master's in business administration provided the background for over 30 years of experience in leading global businesses. Ever since his first job, he was determined to build his own venture in advanced technology like artificial intelligence. His entrepreneurial spirit, persistence, and consistency with the changing dynamics of technology helped him establish Findability Sciences, a company with the goal to equip enterprises with the ability to find information. Growing from the challenges faced during his initial years of starting Findability Sciences to working with multiple global companies is a notable success story of modern day entrepreneurship. So let's hear out from the man himself. But before that, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hello, Mr. Anand, how are you?
Very good, Varsha. Good evening to you.
Very good evening to you too, sir. So, before we actually start, sir, since you are the first generation entrepreneur in your family, the one who has started with his own company, being a immigrant in the US. So, what stroked the idea in you, for starting up with this particular business of yours, and also was this aspiration, there ever since you started?
Varsha, yes. I come from a very small town in interior Maharashtra. I am born and brought up there. My parents were teachers. Uh, since my engineering days, I always used to feel that I'm an entrepreneur and I need to set up my own business. It may not be a surprise to you, but my first ever idea was to set up a garage to repair two-wheelers when I was doing my mechanical engineering. But since then, when I moved to United States, after 20 years of corporate life, I decided that I need to step out and set up my own business. And one day I was, at that time, about 10 years ago, I used to work in content management area. And for those non-technical people, content management is about data and documents and structured and unstructured content. So I used to work in that area. I was working on a very large data warehouse project for one of the largest bank in this New England area. They were not happy with what we were doing, and I was invited for a meeting with the management team. They said, "No, we are not getting what we want." And I was driving back from the customer side to my home for about an hour, and I was thinking, we are doing everything to satisfy this customer, but why are they not happy? And then an idea dawned on me that the customer is not really looking for an analytics solution or a reports, but they're looking for ability to find information. And that was an aha moment for me, saying that can there be a technology to do or provide ability to find information for organizations? I went back home and relentlessly worked on this for 3 to 6 months, saying that can there be a technology? And then I came up with the idea that yes, there can be a technology which can connect internal, external, structured, unstructured data and provide unified ability to find information to the customers. And that was birth of my company. I decided to step out, set up the company, and what should be company name? Since I'm providing ability to find information, I coined the word find ability, which is not an English word. and then ability to find information is a science. So I thought the company name should be Findability Sciences, and for sure, rest is the history. Now the company is about 10 years old.
Amazing, sir. So now, moving ahead, can you please recall any interesting story or incidents that has taken place, during the early days of your startup? And also, do you remember that how you were able to achieve your first ever business target or the order?
Varsha, I keep talking to my colleagues at Findability Sciences, and we say that there is not even a single boring day at Findability Sciences. So the interesting things keep happening practically every day. But at a very, very early stage, Varsha, I was doing very well with one of the largest outsourcing company in India. I was employed with them, and I was managing the North America business, was doing very well, was paid off very well. But when I decided to step out, I had no clue that there is a recession in the market. There is a subprime crisis going on in American market. So I just, in my enthusiasm, stepped out, resigned, gave 6 months notice, saying that I'm going to set up my own business. Got a couple of developers and started developing the technology. And then when I started calling upon customers, they said, "Oh no, our budgets are cut. Financially, we are not doing well, and there is no interest of exploring any new ideas." So that was really a very interesting development where I said, "Oh, now I have started business. Am I going to survive in the market? Am I going to be able to sell this product into the market?" But it happened like 6 months into my business, one of my erst or former customer called me and she said, "Hey, what are you doing? We have not heard from you from last 6 8 months. I'm sure you are doing something interesting. Can we meet for a cup of coffee?" And I went to downtown Boston and we had a cup of coffee and I told that I'm working on ability to find information. And she said, "This is exactly what we want. We want to have ability to find our customers, want to know more about them. So can you please create a proposal for us?" And within few days I turn around the first proposal and I got my first order in literally first 6 months of setting the business. And since then, Varsha, I have built this business only by getting customers and generating revenues and profits through customer revenues. Till 2017, about 6 7 years into the business, we didn't take any external help. I didn't raise any funding. I used my own funds and funds generated from the revenues. And for the first time in late 2017, early 2018, SoftBank of Japan invested into Findability Sciences. And that was a very interesting development. Since you asked me what a significant development is, SoftBank, as you may be knowing, is one of the largest telecom company in Japan, and they decided to form joint venture with one of the smallest company on the earth. And it was really an interesting development. And I'm very proud to share with you that in early 2018, we formed a joint venture with SoftBank of Japan, and that was probably one of the most interesting moment in this entrepreneurship career.
Right. So, Mr. Anand, you say that you help companies to become the data superpowers. So, what gaps are you filling with your startup? That empowers them, and also does the core business preposition solve the challenges of today's industries and organizations?
Yeah, so Varsha, the reason we call that we help companies to become data superpowers because any enterprise on the earth is generating data in some shape or form. But the traditional enterprises, they have a lot of data from their historic activities. Last 10 years, 20 years, they have lots of data. Let's take, for example, a manufacturing business. In manufacturing, they have data generated from machines, they have generated from people to machine interaction or people to people interaction. Now, all this data is not utilized, and this data can provide them a tremendous power to create new solutions, reduce their cost of operation, increase their revenues, or have customer satisfaction or employee satisfaction. So, the reason we say that we can make you data superpower because using this data, which is there within your firewalls, is the first step, but then combining it with the data externally available. And as you know, Varsha, worldwide, practically every minute, every second, we are now creating billions and trillions of terabytes of data. So this data, you can actually connect to your internal data, which is not being used effectively, and then create solutions to make you superpower. And this superpower is really in your own form. It's not relative to someone, but the organization can become very powerful for managing their operations and businesses effectively. And hence we say that our solutions and our technology helps organization to become data superpowers.
Right. So now every entrepreneur has a journey of how they scale their business. So what were the challenges that you have to face, while starting up with your organization, and also how did you actually overcome those challenges, and what adjustments did you have to, undergo to bring those changes?
So, Varsha, I'll start with your last point that what did we do to handle the challenges is practically every year I have fine-tuned this business and modified in terms of what is required for the market and what can we do and what we cannot do. There is no dearth for challenges, Varsha. From day one to now, there is everyday challenge. But since you asked about the growth, I started as a solo, as I mentioned earlier. I started alone. I recruited a couple of developers here in Boston area, and then subsequently after a year, I set up small operation in India. But Varsha, with this, we are now close to 150 people, and by end of 2022, we probably maybe 300 people working in findability sciences. So for growth, the challenge was that we were 2 to 3 or maybe 3 to 5 years ahead of the curve. Many customers, you will be surprised that after now 5 years, they come back and say, "Oh, this is what you were talking 5 years ago. This is what exactly we need." So one of our biggest challenge was to basically communicate to customer that data and artificial intelligence are going to be prime importance for your business, and you need to deploy these solutions. So we tried, and this is a business to business, or we call it as a B2B business, where it is a direct marketing. You have to go to individually customers, talk to them, demonstrate them, do proof of concepts. It's a long process of getting sales. So for growth, the challenges were basically how do we communicate effectively to customer what we do, and how do we really get their interest, saying that these solutions are going to be important for them. So after our SoftBank alliance, really it helped us in expanding our network and getting more customers. So that's the way we solved our first major challenge, is to ally or partner with one of the largest companies in the world, who can help us network with many customers globally and get more customers. Then subsequently, what we decided to do is really form our solutions, which is really fine tuned to every customer. And now, instead of just going and telling them that this is the technology you should use, we have created a data science lab model where we collaboratively work with customer, educate, communicate, and motivate them to use data and AI. And we are seeing a tremendous change on our growth, that the customer really like this collaborative model, and we're not just going and forcing some technology on them, but working collaboratively in a data science lab model. So those are the changes we kept on doing. And last year, particularly post pandemic, and this year, we are making big changes where our technology, how customers can effectively use their solutions, is now communicated in a different way than what we used to do in the past.
Right. So now, how do you define findability solutions? Like, is it a one-stop tech, solution company for whatever the different requirements of the industries are, and how has the definition of the product portfolio has been changed since the starting days?
So, as I mentioned earlier, that we started as ability to find information platform technology, which was more related to data. Over years, we have now become an enterprise AI company. So we don't call ourselves as a IT solutions or IT services company. This is a new category in the market called enterprise AI, which is basically the artificial intelligence solutions used by businesses and not really consumers or consumer products. So, Findability Sciences in an enterprise AI company, which helps traditional enterprises to become data superpowers. Now, why traditional enterprises? Because, as I earlier mentioned, that every single company has data. And when I say traditional, those are the companies which started about 8, 10, 20 years ago, and they have not digitally born or digital native. So those companies need enterprise AI solutions, and we call ourselves as enterprise AI technology company. Now we do end to end enterprise AI, and what I mean by end to end is we have our own intellectual property or technology built around machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision, and we provide this technology as a license, or we provide this technology as a service as well. But additionally, we have now we are offering three additional services. One is findability.dsl, which is a data science lab model, which I just mentioned to you earlier, that this is a collaborative model where we help customers build their intellectual property working with us using our experience and our skills. We have findability.labs, which is basically a professional services organization which helps customer to create their data infrastructures and data platforms. And last but not the least, Varsha, most of the organizations who have their traditional products, they need nowadays products to be AI enabled. And we recently launched findability.inside, which is a solution which we embed into customer products and make them AI enabled technologies. So we provide now practically end to end enterprise AI technology with these four services, is that with our own AI technology, with data science lab model, with a labs model where we provide professional services and consulting services, and then inside where we embed our products into customer products to make them AI enabled.
Wonderful, Mr. Anand. So now, moving ahead, since you have been recognized for your outstanding professional achievements and contribution in nation building, so how do you think that enterprise AI is empowering the businesses achieve their digital transformation goal?
Pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, again, I prefer personally don't prefer to talk really about pandemic, but technologically the organizations have dramatically changed the way we are operating. It has impacted on every segment of human life, as you know. But particularly the traditional organization, they need now digital transformation. And our technology helps companies to get into that digital transformation very quickly without really waiting for a long time or really having multi-year plans. Our technologies are ready, proven, we have experience, and these technologies can help traditional enterprises to transform their business by taking one project or one use case or one area or one department in the organization and then keep scaling up. In fact, I keep talking about, Varsha, that digital transformation is not just about financial returns or measurable returns, because typically what happens is that when somebody is going to look for digital transformation, the C level executives first start looking at, okay, so how much money I'm going to save, or how many resources I will save, or what revenues I will earn. But that's not the way to look at the digital transformation. Digital transformation is about creating capability and strategy for your organization in using artificial intelligence solutions. So what we do to the organizations, that digital transformation is not just creating financial returns, but we also call that we provide strategic return on investment and capability return on investment. So through our solutions, for organizations to achieve digital transformation, we have a complete and detailed framework where we show customers that how they can increase capability, have strategy in your organization of AI adoption, and then eventually get financial returns.
Right. So now, talking about the future, so what next is coming up for findability sciences? Like, what further plans are you having in the upcoming years?
Varsha, as I said, it changes every day, every month, every year. But we do have many plans to really become the leading enterprise AI company in the world, because we do have customers, we do have technology, we have really experience of what I tell customers that we have experience of what doesn't work. And I think that is more important for customers than just going and telling them that what works. So we have this experience, and coming 2022 and 23 and 23, we are launching lots of new initiatives worldwide, particularly in United States, India, and Japan market. And our growth as well as our customers' digital transformation is very important to us, and we are launching a lot of new products and solutions for it.
And I wish you all the success for all these plans of yours as well.
Thank you, Varsha.
Okay, so now, the two integral part that startup founders keep talking about is learning and scaling. So my question is, did you also fail fast? Because the third integral part or the thing is learning from failing. So did you also had that phase in your journey?
Yes, and I actually say that I failed 95% of the time. So what success someone says is the 5% of my success. And Varsha, the failing fast terminology is really very interesting. In fact, in one of my customer partner conversation, they didn't really like me using failing fast word, because they said, "Oh, you are starting with a negative tone, that failing fast." But no, because I don't believe that any entrepreneur will come and tell you that I have succeeded in every single thing which they undertook. But the interesting thing is that those entrepreneurs who succeed, who understand that yes, it's a failure, acknowledge it, and then move on very rapidly or quickly, and that's what is a failing fast. So yes, there were failures, and as I said that. The success impact is much lesser than the failures, but learning from the failures, as you rightly said, and then taking corrective action in time and basically just keep going is what really helps the entrepreneurs, and that has helped me as well.
Right. So now, what are the learnings, as an entrepreneur that you have learned in this pandemic period, and also how it has helped you to morph those learnings to transformation?
So there were lots of learnings, Varsha, and as you all know, that pandemic just struck overnight. And for a small company like us, and there are thousands of companies of our size probably closed down during or post-pandemic. But there were lots of learning, and the first learning which I always kept in my mind is not giving up. Overnight, we had to send hundreds of our employees to their homes, and we never had an infrastructure because we deal in data and etc. We had desktops in offices and we had secure network. But then suddenly overnight, we have to have every employee working from different locations. We, for example, just in India, we have two locations we operate from as offices. But immediately, when the employees went home and to their native places, we have now 57 locations where people are working from. So dispatching the laptops to them, getting the secure network set up. So those learnings are really very interesting because not giving up and adjusting it to the changes which were never ever imagined really helped us, and that learning is unbelievable because I believe it is not just for pandemic, but that learning is in a regular life of an entrepreneur, that you don't know what how the next day is going to come in and how you are going to respond. And my learning is really just respond the way it is, not worry about it, just take one day at a time and solve the problem. And Varsha, we did have impact during pandemic. Our projects were stalled, our employees were working from home, our productivity went down, our revenues were impacted. But as I mentioned, we didn't give up. And then 2021, we are now 100% back to our growth. We are growing, our new customers are joining us, our existing customers are very happy. So the learning was not giving up.
Right. So now, what would you say the market for enterprise AI is looking like in the year 2022 in India?
So, in fact, recent Gartner report, Varsha says that actually the enterprise AI market is starting from this year. So, 2022 is a year where most of the companies are now started adopting. And Gartner, McKinsey, Deloitte, if you read all their reports and analysis and research, that 2022 2023 is the takeoff of the enterprise adoption. And as far as India is concerned, Varsha, we are very excited. We have grown our business in India. We serve a lot of global customers from our Indian operations, but we also serve to Indian customers in India, and that customer base is growing. A lot of Indian customers would like to have benefits of the enterprise AI, and I say that in India it is just starting, and it is now poised for explosive growth in coming 3 to 5 years. So, it's very exciting times ahead of us, Varsha.
So now, though it's always a very wonderful feeling when we get recognitions for our work. Still, I would love to know from you that what are your feelings on winning this Indian Achievers Award?
So, Varsha, there's no word, but I'm very humbled to win this award. I have won number of awards in the past, but particularly India Achiever Forum, I have heard about them, read about them, and they recognizing me for my entrepreneurship journey is very humbling experience. And I really thank IF and the management team there to look at my application and honor me with this award. So I'm very humbled. And Varsha, as now I'm living in United States for 18 years, but in Hindi I always say that "फिर भी दिल है Hindustani." So getting an award from a reputed organization in India is really very near and dear to me, and I'm very excited with this.
And I once again congratulate you on this achievement of yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Varsha. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. So now you have had a successful career spanning over 30 years now. So could you please share some advices that you have received from your mentors, and also what advice or suggestion you would like to give to people out there who wish to become a successful entrepreneur someday?
When it comes to the advices, I owe a lot to my mentors and advisors all through my life and career. And it starts with my parents, who taught me of not giving up. My mother never used to allow us to give any excuses for not doing anything. But one particular, since you asked about advice, I remember is that when I moved to United States, and it was my first customer interaction with my the then boss Dick Orlando. He was really worried that I'm just coming to United States for the first time and I'm presenting to the American customer. How will it go? But after that 1 hour of presentation, when we returned to the office, he called me in his office and said, Anand, I have one advice to you, that be unapologetically you yourself. Don't change your style. You have something unique way of talking and explaining it to customer, and just keep at it. So I just listened to Dick, and I follow that for last 20 years in my career in America, and it has definitely helped me. Now, me giving advice to entrepreneurs, I would probably repeat the same things, that don't give up. If you decide to start something, just be at it. Now, what is entrepreneurship, or what is starting a business? That you have some idea and you believe that that idea can change the world. Now, if you have convinced yourself that that idea can change the world, you have ability to even convince the rest of the world, and things will happen. So, not giving up, then be yourself. Who you are is who you are. Don't try to change because of something. If you are a if mango tree decides to become pineapple tree, it will never be a good fruit. So therefore, if you are a mango tree, just be good at producing good mangoes. So just be at yourself, just do what you do well, and you will succeed. So those are my two advices to the entrepreneurs.
And those are, a very lovely piece of advice that you have given to people out there. So thank you so very much for your time today, sir. It was lovely talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors as well, and may you continue to inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for your time today.
Thank you, Varsha. I appreciate it.